Elvis Presley and his vehicles. Part 9. Elvis Messerschmitt. On March 24, 1956, Elvis and his bandmates were in New York City doing TV soundtrack recordings for a CBS stage show. They performed Money Honey and Heartbreak Hotel. Originally they were supposed to perform Blue Suede Shoes, but out of respect to Carl Perkins, who was in a severe car accident a few days before, they refrained from singing that song. On that day, Elvis purchased, or was gifted, a 1956 Messerschmitt KR200. Some sources say that he was gifted the three-wheeled car by RCA Victor for selling over 1 million records. Others say he just saw it at a dealership in New York and decided he wanted it. Either way, on March 24 Elvis became the owner of a 1956 Messerschmitt. At that time he already owned 3 Cadillacs and a Harley. The Messerschmitt KR200 is a three-wheeled bubble car, designed by the aircraft engineer Fritz Fend, and produced in the factory of the German aircraft manufacturer Messerschmitt from 1955 to 1964. Messerschmitt was famous for building the feared Bf-109 fighter aircrafts during World War II, but after the war they were not allowed to manufacture airplanes anymore. In 1955, Gordon Motors of Yonkers, New York became the sole U.S. importer for Messerschmitt. They established a coast-to-coast sales network of sorts, and the curious, airplane fuselage-shaped three-wheeler that sat 2 adults or 1 adult and 2 kids took Americans' hearts by storm. The KR200 ran on a 191cc Fichtel and Sachs air-cooled single-cylinder 2-stroke engine positioned in front of the rear wheel, just behind the passenger seat. The engine had 2 sets of contact breaker points and, to reverse, the engine was stopped and then restarted, going backwards. It had a steering bar reminiscent of that of an aircraft. To steer the KR200, the driver would swivel the steering bar about its axis from the horizontal, straight-ahead, position instead of rotating it as with a conventional steering wheel. Much of the production was exported, mainly to the USA and Great Britain. A maximum speed in excess of 90 km per hour, or 56 miles per hour, despite a power output of only 10 horsepower. The MSRP was about $1,000. Elvis had the Messerschmitt shipped from New York to his home in Memphis. These photos, where Elvis is showing off his new car, are from May 29, 1956 at 1034 Audubon Drive. These photos are from the same day. Elvis and Dan Shackelford, a family friend from Tupelo, are playing with the Messerschmitt. It was painted Rubin Rot, which is a burgundy color, and the lower parts of the body were black. It was equipped with accessory bumper guards, front and rear. These photos of Elvis and his Messerschmitt are from June 1956. On July 4, 1956, Alfred Wertheimer visited the Presleys and took a bunch of pictures which were printed in numerous magazines. Among those photos, a few were on Elvis Messerschmitt. Elvis stored the bubble car in the garage behind the house, where these photos were shot. The Messerschmitt is a bit dusty, because the construction workers who were refurbishing the house and building the pool, used the garage for woodworking. On September 20, 1956, Elvis was at home in Memphis having some fun with his Messerschmitt. A few days later he was going to perform in his hometown Tupelo at the Mississippi-Alabama Fair and Dairy Show in front of 22,000 screaming fans. At that day, he took a trip around Memphis with the Messerschmitt. In 1957, Elvis was busy performing and filming and eventually lost interest in his little Messerschmitt. Bernard Lansky, owner of Lansky Brothers, where Elvis had been buying all his clothes since the beginning of his career, had wanted to buy the bubble car since Elvis showed it to him in early 1956. On August 27, 1957, Elvis took his Messerschmitt down to Bernard and made him a deal. Elvis swapped the Messerschmitt in exchange for a 2.5-hour shopping spree at the store. Bernard Lansky enjoyed the Messerschmitt for many years and kept it until his death in 2012. After that, his son Hal has kept it in storage, and hopefully it will emerge one day. Elvis was stationed in Germany from late 1958 through early 1960. In 1959 he tried out a Messerschmitt KR201 and probably felt at home.
And that's it for this episode. More to come soon. Thanks for watching and please subscribe.